Hi, and welcome back to Viewpoint Christian Academy for another Monday Moments. I'm Dr. Adam Rondo, the director of Viewpoint Christian Academy, where it is our mission to empower parents for Christian education. It's Father's Day week. This coming Sunday will be Father's Day, and I want to talk to the dads for a minute about their role as protectors for their children and how that ties in to providing them a Christian education. Stay tuned. So as we look forward to Father's Day, I really think it's an important day. Not because I'm a father myself, and I'm very much a proud father. I have 4 children that I love and adore, and I want God's best for their lives. My wife and I are committed to protecting them and training them in the ways of the Lord. They are our first responsibility of discipleship, our children. And the same goes for you, and I'm sure that moms and dads, you feel the same way about your own children. And as I look at the world that's out there right now, Father's Day happens to fall in the month of June. This is 2022. This month of June has been an intense month as far as the promotion of what's called Pride Month, right? The promotion of the LGBTQ plus whatever. I'm in so many letters now. The LGBTQ plus agenda that's being forced down our throats at the grocery store, at the Burger King, at you name it. It's everywhere out there. It is the thing to do right now, is to promote this. It used to be when, years ago, that June was the month of weddings. It was. My wife and I, we got married in the month of June because, hey, it's June. People get married in June. Now, it celebrates the perversion of that, unfortunately. Much of the world does. And there's a lot of things going on in our world right now. And I've come across a few things that have really just given me pause as a dad to stop and reflect. I think about, I have a daughter, a teenage daughter, and I think about, a lot of dads back in the day, it would be they'd get a shotgun, right? And the guy would come over because they wanted to, take the girl out for a date. Dad would sit there cleaning the shotgun, just checking it all out and make sure everything's good. Why? Because you want to put a little bit of fear of the Lord into that boy if he was going to be spending some time with your daughter, because you are your daughter's protector, right? Dads are protectors. It's in our nature. It's in our desire. It's in God's design for us to be protectors. And so I look at the world right now and I see that there are a lot of things that our children need protection from. Let me just share with you a couple of examples of some of the things. I became so concerned when I saw this posted on Facebook not too long ago. I live in the town of Southbridge, Massachusetts. Viewpoint Christian Academy is based in the town of Southbridge, Massachusetts. And look what was being promoted. A special event for 7 to 11-year-olds. 7, 8, 9, 10, and 11-year-olds. That's 2nd through 5th grade, right? 7 to 11-year-olds for exploring and identifying as LGBTQIA+. And my mind was blown. But you know what was even more astounding is that if you look on who puts it on, it's put on by UInc, Southbridge Family Resource Center, and Southbridge Community Connections. Where's that? What is that? Well, I looked it up. Guess what? It's sponsored by an organization called the Seven Hills Foundation. And the Seven Hills Foundation is funded by the Massachusetts Department of Children and Families, DCF. DCF here in the state of Massachusetts is tasked with the job of protecting children. That's what they're supposed to do. They're supposed to protect children from abuse and these kinds of things. And they're promoting an event for 7 to 11-year-olds to talk about sex. Isn't that child abuse? Where is it right to talk to a 7 to 11-year-old about sex? It's not. But there are organizations being funded with tax money. Can you tell I'm a little worked up about this? Tax money to pay for us to pay to talk to 7 to 11-year-olds about sex. Not just normal heterosexual sex, but perverted gay sex. Yes, I said that. And this bothers me. It gets me upset, and I want to not only protect my own children from this, I want to protect other children from this. This isn't right. It should not be happening. But that's not all. You can keep looking at headline after headline after headline. Look at this New York school taught from the New York Post. This school, not New York school, New York Post down south. Ladies and gentlemen, if you think the South is safe, you have got another thing coming. You have got another thing coming. The South is not safe. No place is safe from this. This South Carolina here, or North Carolina, teacher used LGBTQ flashcards to educate preschoolers about colors. And one of the cards featured a pregnant, quote unquote, man. A pregnant man? It doesn't even make sense. It doesn't even make sense. Well, let's go on. There's more, right? How about this? The Biden administration is going to hold back school lunch money. It's going to hold it hostage to force transgender policies about bathrooms, etc. Oh, yeah. If you don't think it's already taking place in a public school, it already is taking place. How about this one? This one got me. I heard this article, this interview on NPR, and it got me so riled up. It's all about NPR having a very friendly conversation with an organization that seeks to help minors get out of state to have an abortion. Help them do it without their parents' knowledge and without their parents' consent. And this was acceptable and okay, according to NPR. It was a service that was being provided to these teens, to these minors, because of the quote-unquote attacks against abortion rights. What a wicked and evil world we live in. And Disney, that used to be safe, that used to be the family values place, is celebrating Pride Month. And Disney Plus, on their online streaming service, they've added tons and tons of stuff just for that, to help with that. And my understanding is that the latest Buzz Lightyear movie that's coming out in the month of June is supposed to have a lesbian character, and it's supposed to feature a lesbian kiss at some point in that movie. An animated feature for kids. This is a problem in our world. Our world is evil, and we need to protect our children. It's not better in public school libraries. I did a recent search even in my own town's high school public library. Found books like Crank, The Bluest Eyes, Beyond the Magenta, and all of those are pornographic, obscenity-filled books detailing rapes and incest and these transgenderism and all these different things with obscenities and foul language and all these things. And it's what? It's accessible to the kids in a public school library. What is this? What's going on? It's the sexualization of our children. It's an attempt to remove and destroy their innocence. Satan, the world, it wants to come after our children. And we need warriors and guardians to stand in the gap and protect them, to stand against this tide, to hold up a shield of faith that says, you know what, my child is innocent, my child is young. I'm not going to let these get to my child. And we hold it back. We need protectors. Who are the protectors of our children? Well, it's certainly not the school system. It's certainly not the government. It's certainly not Disney. What should be protecting our children? Parents, especially dads and the family. Those are the primary line of defense. You cannot allow the world to get through. So you have to be diligent. You have to be vigilant, mom and dad. You have to hold the barrier. You have to hold things up. It's not a shotgun that you're pointing at a boyfriend, warning him about something. It's the sword of the Spirit, but you're taking steps, okay? You're taking steps to say, you know what? We're not going to do the phone thing. We're going to block and filter the internet. We're going to put limits on what kind of TV, etc. you can watch. We're not going to let you just go anywhere. We're going to protect your innocence. It's not cool to let your kid do whatever they want to do and lose their innocence. I know the world's all into that right now, but God's word is all about you, mom and dad, especially you, dad, being the protector of the home. Who else can protect? Pastors. There are way too many pastors right now in our country that have come under accusations about doing wrong things. But I know that those are the big headlines and the big stories, but that is not the majority of the pastors out there. The majority of the pastors out there are loving people. They're loving people of God who want to protect and help minister and build up as disciples our families and our children. Pastors, you can do stuff by preaching encouraging sermons, by giving wise counsel, by being not afraid to speak up when parents are doing things they shouldn't do, and you need to tell them, look, no, you shouldn't be doing that. What you need to do is protect them and take these steps. Be brave, be bold, be courageous. Pastors, be protectors. How about the church as a whole? God has established the body, the community of Christ to work together. This is why the church can help establish learning centers and learning pods and schools and different places, not only on Sunday where the children can receive nourishment, but even throughout the week where young people can be given an opportunity to be protected and raised and trained in the ways of God. Look, in our Ignition program, our students just about every year learn about the 3 enemies of the believer. What are the 3 enemies of the believer? Number 1, there's Satan. Satan, that's a spiritual warfare. Satan, we have to teach children. In order to protect children, we have to teach them how to do spiritual battle against the enemy. We have to teach them how to pray, study God's word. The flesh, all of our lives, we are going to have to battle the flesh. Children need to be taught how to battle the flesh, even from a young age. How can they protect their innocence? How can they be protected in that way? Teach them self-control. Teach them how to obey. Teach them how to fear the Lord. That's how you can battle against the flesh and protect them. And finally, the last enemy, we've got Satan, we've got the flesh, but we've also got the world. And the world is something that is coming against our children physically. It's coming against them physically through visual stimulation, through the things that they hear, through images on the screen, through social media, etc., so on and so forth. How can you protect them? You need to stand up and keep the world back. Yes, you need to protect them. Yes, in some areas, you need to isolate them. Yes, in some areas, you need to say, no, we're not doing that. Our family is taking a stand and we're going to hold back the flood of this world. Because listen, the prophet said when the enemy comes in like a flood, and he's coming in like a flood, we need the Spirit of the Lord to raise up the standard against him. Moms and dads, dad especially, raise up the standard, hold up the shield, protect your family. Look, I love you, Dad. I'm there with you. I'm learning. I make a lot of mistakes, and I got a lot of learning to do. But I know one thing that we have in common. We love our kids, and we want to protect them. So together, let's protect our families. Church, let's protect the families. Pastors, let's protect the families. Let's protect our kids. Their innocence does not need to be robbed. They can keep that. They can keep that. They can be sanctified and holy unto the Lord. Let's keep them that way for as long as we can. Look, I know they're going to make their own decision. I know that someday they're going to go off and do their own thing. I get it. But when they're in my home, under my care, I'm going to be a warrior that protects them.